So today I'm going to do the 1 year video on the Dave Beck WSK and Saranac. I've been a little bit nervous about doing this for the simple fact I want to do Dave's knives justice, at least what I've had. So to do that correctly, the best thing I can think of to do is start at the beginning. In early March, I think it was March 1st of 2020, I was waiting up to get on Dave's list for the WSK. I actually dozed for a second and messed up and slept till 8 minutes after midnight. Quickly put in my request, sent it off. And I think 4 or 5 days later, I got my return that I had made the list, which was a huge blessing because little did I know at the time that was his next to last list that he plans on taking. Anyway, I was told initially 22 months, no problem. And as COVID was doing its thing, people were canceling orders. So I ended up only waiting 16 months for my WSK and Ceranic. Now, during that time, it's important to note that Dave and I had about 50 emails back and forth. Now, we still email each other today, but I want it known how good his customer service was. I could ask him questions and he would have really good, solid answers and reasons why he would suggest I do things a certain way. So in May, late May of 2021, which is about 16 months, he finished the order, and I've actually got it right here, my name on it and everything. And he finished the order on May 31st of 2021, the day after my 48th birthday. Let me know that it was all going to the mail, and he shipped it off. He double-checked to make sure everything was correct, and then he shipped it off. I had to wait a little while until I could go back to the States to pick it up. And then you guys got to see the unboxing whenever I did the unboxing video of how it arrived. I've never spent over maybe a couple $100, maybe $300 I spent on the Bark River on a knife before. I spent significantly more of that with Dave. And I've had that question. I see it pop up. It's like, well, why would you spend, because I was around $1,400 for both knives when it was all said and done. Why would you spend $1,400 on a couple knives? And my reason for that is this. Whenever I bought my Bark River, I got a good price for it. But even when I sold it a little bit cheaper than what I had initially bought it for. At the time, I knew Dave's was going to be expensive, but I also saw what the resale was. So I knew that if it didn't work out, I didn't like the knives, I could always turn around, sell it, and I wasn't going to lose any money. So there was a security in that. There's a security in having the Beck name on a knife. The other reason was that everyone in the tracker forums had said that Dave's version of the WSK, or he is the WSK, or his version of the tracker knife was the most refined. And it was kind of like the standard. It is the bar. So that's another reason why I wanted to try his version and why it was worth the wait. And also, the customer service and everything else is great. So I don't plan on ever selling my set. But if I did, or if my kids ever do, I know they're not going to lose money on it. So that's why. So let's get back to when I got the knives. And you'll see in the video, I looked at the Ceranic first. And this is the Ceranic 13 months after I bought it. Just a perfect little bush blade. It really is. It's just a perfect little bushcrafting knife. I've used this as an EDC every day since I got it. I carry appendix, and it just fits. I made a little leather sheath for it. I could have used, and I used for a while, his leather sheath, appendix style, because the way he's done his sheaths, they're so adaptable. Extremely adaptable to any way you want to set them up. But this has been my EDC for a year, or over a year. I put a pinky lanyard on it because I'm more comfortable using those. Even after a year, you can see what wonderful shape that my card is in. The tapered tang is just beautiful. Of course, I left the patina on. If I close my eyes and I feel real careful, I can kind of feel the liners now a little bit, just because I live in a jungle and it makes things swell. But other than maybe I can just barely feel that, and the patina on the blade, not rust, just a patina. This knife hasn't changed. It still takes a razor sharp edge. I use, of course, the Frankenblock, which is a block of wood, a little bit of leather, and then a fine grit sandpaper, and I kind of convexed that last little bit. It stays sharp for an extremely long period of time, and all I ever have had to do is just touch it up. Usually I just touch it up on leather. It's very rare that I actually bring out the sandpaper or ceramic rod for this. Now it's 01 tool steel. And I know that's not the latest and greatest steel, but Dave's heat treat is just spot on. I've had no rolls, no chips. It's just done everything I've asked it to do, from kitchen prep work to, we cut a lot of vegetables and fruit down here. Working on bushcraft stuff, cutting open boxes, cutting up boxes, all sorts of things. So this is my EDC. Absolutely love it. And Dave, if you ever see this, thank you. I'm going to hit on Dave's sheath again before I go into the WSK. This sheath, you can take all that off, all the extra. It's got a belt clip, a belt loop that you can take on, you can snap on, you can snap off. It's adjustable to where you put the clip. If you want it high or low, you can take this off and slide it on. If you like scout carry, your belt will fit right in there. If you don't like this big section of leather here, Dave sent another piece of leather that will replace that. So that way it's just a nice thin method of scout carry, or Jurassic Park carry, Jurassic World carry. 13 months, there's not a single stitch that has come undone. That's the level of quality with the leather. The retention's amazing. Dave is a top-notch knife smith, but he's also a master sheath maker. Being left-handed, I've always had to make my own stuff. Get something in from somebody, immediately I've got to make my own sheath for it, or a holster, or whatever. Not with Dave's. It's really good. So put the Ceranic down, and we'll go into the big boy, the WSK. So this is the same sheath that I ordered with it. Again, not a single stitch has come off the sheath. Everything, it looks brand new. The retention is amazing. You still have all the options that you do with the other sheath, including if you don't want to put it on a belt, or if you don't want the big section over here, this will slide right there and screws in, and you can carry it scout style if you want. If you want to put both sheaths together, you've seen this on my channel, there's the adapter for that. Quick point also on the sheaths. This right here is the screw and bolt that hold his stuff together. It'd have been very easy for him to use aluminum, something cheap. These are steel, solid steel. And I know this because they're magnetic. And two, I've taken them apart and put them back together probably a couple hundred times, playing around with putting the gear on molly, putting it on packs, putting it on my belt, however, all these different configurations. The screws that he sends are top notch, just like the leather in the sheath. All right, so let's look at the WSK. The first time I picked this up, and you can see it on the video, I grabbed a hold, and the first thing that hit my mind was the handle was bigger. It was thicker than what most knife makers will make. It reminded me, because I'm a retired firefighter, I was in the military before that, and it reminded me of industrial type safety gear. Thick, solid, heavy. Comfortable, usable, but very, very solid and big. When you look at the micarta, this is after a year of hard use. You guys have seen the videos. I have beat this knife through so much stuff. Still looks great. I left the patina on. Dave's saw teeth for notching still work amazing, and they are still absolutely like needles. I really enjoy the saw on Dave's knives, but again, they are for notching. I've noticed that once you get about a ½ inch deep, it's going to start slowing down. It's going to start plugging up a little bit. You're not as effective, but that's with the design. That's why I use the pinky lanyard, so that when my fingers are like this and I'm actually sawing, I'm not going to go any farther forward. The heat treat on this 01, again, is amazing. I really should have kept a record, because, guys, I rarely, if ever, put sandpaper to this. I might touch it up with the ceramic rod every little bit, but usually it's just the Frankenblock with leather and rouge, and it's back to hair popping sharp. You can kind of feel the red liners a little bit, but again, that's because of where I live. There's been zero issue with, there's been no rolls, there's been no chips in this edge, and I wish I could get you a really good view of this. I've had zero problems with this knife. It's very comfortable. Like I said, it reminds me of my firefighting gear. It really does. It's just, it is thick, but it's comfortable. I've chopped with this knife a lot and not had any kind of hot spots. I've never had a blister or anything like that. Because I live where it's really wet, and because it is a beautiful, polished micarta, you will get a little slippage if there's a lot of rain. Your hand gets really wet, because there's nothing aggressive about that. I'm glad for the finger grooves, because that helps lock things in, and then when I'm chopping, pinky lanyard and down here, as you guys have seen. You'll get a little bit of twist if it's really wet. Other than that, works great. After a year, after 13 months, The knife is just as functional and in just as good a shape as when I first got it. So for anyone thinking about taking the plunge and saying, okay, yeah, I want to get a Dave Beck knife, go for it. If you want a WSK, go for it. I cannot compare this knife to the other tracker style blades that are out there. The only other thing I've messed with is the Bark River and the Tops T2. I love the Tops T2 and the Bark River. The Bark River never gave me any problems, so I can't say anything bad about the Bark River. If I had the choice, I want the one that was made the day after I turned 48. I want the one that I've talked to the maker so many different times, and so for practical and for sentimental reasons, I absolutely love this knife. So I sold pretty much all the blades that I had to get this. I put them up for sale, had a little like a slush fund that I was going to use, bought the knife. My intention when I did this was to use this for the rest of my life. I'm sold on the tracker design, that quarter round. I like the big knife, small knife setup, and once again, Dave hit it out of the park with this. So Dave is not taking orders anymore. He ran one more WSK list after the list I was on. He's finishing it up now. And at that point, he has switched his ordering process to every so often he's going to place the knives he has finished on his website, and you can buy them directly from there. But as far as calling Dave up, ordering a knife, he's not doing that anymore. I'm very thankful I got him when I did. With all that being said, and how wonderful the WSK is, I was introduced to a new design by a different maker who is currently producing knives and taking orders. And my knife, or my two knives, are on the way right now from Scotland. As soon as the packages get here, guys, I'm going to do an unboxing video, kind of introduce you to the design, and then it's going to be going to work, taking these out into the jungle, building things, chopping things, a whole new series, and really going to try out this new design, this new type of tracker and companion knife. I'm really excited, and to tell you the truth, I didn't expect to be, after getting the WSKs, I never expected to be as excited about a design again, but I'm excited about this, and I cannot wait to bring you guys along on it. We're going to try them out together. So anyway, guys, this has been my 1 year review of the Ceranic and WSK by Dave Beck. And if you can't tell, I absolutely love them both. But I'm also looking forward to the future and trying some new stuff out. Hope you guys are doing well and take care. Thank you for all the amazing subscriptions. And we're up to 340 some odd right now. It means a lot. It really does. So God bless. Talk to you later.